named Jane, and thanks for checking this out and taking the time. I wanted to hop on here and talk about something that keeps coming up for me. And some of my friends have been reaching out to me, and they're going through something similar. So I was like, I'm going to share this because I'm guessing it's a part of what's going on in the collective. And it's being expressed in very interesting human ways. And it has to do with the wounded divine masculine energy. And for me personally, it's come out in men, like male bodies. Not saying that it's just happening to men. So there's that. What I have noticed is that there's this space where dudes are hurt, and this like immature wound of, maybe feeling like they're not smart enough, they don't matter, that they're not as strong as much of a leader as. And it made me think about like in the 1980s, the late 80s, when women were really going into like that corporate environment, that workforce, right? And a lot of the women that did that got to experience sexual harassment, and now after the Me Too movement, men are really aware of what they're saying when it has to do with sex and like they'll quickly like lose their job. So they're not allowing that anger and frustration, the feeling of fear of, oh no, what if you actually are better than me, you woman body. And so since they can't maybe sexually harass, it's coming out in different ways, other triggers and other ammos coming out of their faces. And it's coming out in blame and accusation and name calling, like, I'm right, you're wrong, and you don't know anything, and I know more than you, I'm gonna school you kind of thing. And I'm hearing a lot of this, and I'm experiencing it. So like I said, I'm guessing I'm not the only one. So I was inspired to hop on here and share my perspective of it. And that's what my perspective is that a lot of that, that energy wound within so many of us that once had been expressed with such unawareness of boundaries or without compassion, that since that's not coming out in that like sexual aggressive way, it's coming out in other ways, and it just seems like this really immature thing. So now here I am, like, well, how do we get to deal with that? Like, how do I hold space in compassion for a man? And again, this isn't for all men. However, my experience has been in the male bodies. So how do I get to have compassion for the man who is feeling threatened? How do I have compassion for the man who is judging himself so much that he's lashing out at me and judging me in what I know or how I express myself or my choices in life? And how do I couple that compassion with boundaries and saying things like, no, or thank you for sharing your experience and your perspective. However, it's not mine. And that's okay that we can have these differing perspectives and we can still get along and move forward together. So yeah, it's like this very interesting dance that I am learning to do personally in having compassion, as well as holding off their energy, their triggers, that like negative energy that's like flowing out of them at me or at the person to whom I'm speaking. And so being able to hear what someone is feeling, listen to what I'm feeling, hold off their like negative energy, seeing them still as love nuggets, because that's what we all are, and allowing that like hurt child energy to be what I see. And then how do I heal that while still honoring the adult human body that they're in? It's a very interesting time, and I feel like this is kind of what a lot of us are kind of growing through and learning through. Meanwhile, still like clearing out our own purpose path, our own direction, making our own decisions. I see a lot of growth. And in that growth, I see it as like the crepe myrtle, the tree. And so we have tons of crepe myrtles here. And so they grow, and then I guess it's every year, I don't know. But the bark falls away, this hard bark. And what's left is the super smooth crepe myrtle tree trunk. And it has this like really pretty marbleization to it, and it's gorgeous. And I'm thinking that plant can't be like, oh my God, this feels so good. I'm guessing it's like, ah, and then it's probably not comfortable for the tree. It's what's in my head. Kind of like the snake shedding its skin. It's probably like, this feels really weird. And yet at the same time, you know, it can't just bust through it because it has its process of shedding. And at the same time, it can't just hold on to it forever because it would die, you know. And I feel like so many of us are going through those types of shifts and growths and spaces for us to be really uncomfortable in, for us to grow through. So I guess that wounded, immature, masculine energy within so many of us is another space that may be just really uncomfortable as the collective heals and grows through that. And being able to stay peaceful and loving and compassionate with boundaries and focus and will and drive is this new harmonious dance that I am personally stepping into every day with awareness and focus. So I wanted to hop on here and offer what I'm experiencing, what I'm witnessing, and then how I'm kind of translating that into like normal daily life. Because I get really esoteric and I go really head up in the clouds and the other realms and channeling information. And I get all this clarity, and then I get to bring it in and then apply it in real life. And that to me is, maybe that's for me, maybe that's that space where I'm like, this is my uncomfortable space of like integrating the knowledge that I'm receiving into my human experience and being able to like clearly communicate it. Yeah, I think that's probably what like I'm going through personally, which is probably another reason that I get to experience people or men who don't understand or don't accept or judge or yell or react or point and whatever, or you know, having others tell me about their experiences that are basically in the same vein. I guess it's to be able to continue on my path throughout the face of adversity, and also remembering and reminding myself that it's okay to not be understood and it's okay to not be accepted, and it has nothing to do with me, and that I still matter. I'm still worthy of being here on this earth and doing the best I can, and I still deserve another day to live the life of me and see how it goes. And it's okay if we're not accepted. That kind of hit home for me this past weekend, that like it's really okay, and that if I'm not understood or accepted, that it has nothing to do with me. Like it really doesn't matter. It's a total moot point. And I think that as we continue to shift and step into our highest purpose, our higher purposes, or different paths, different directions, remembering that it's okay if whatever change we make, any course correction that we take, that some may not understand it and they may not accept it, and it's really totally okay, and that we don't have to spend one bit of time in explanation or argument or defending, that we can actually just be like, it's okay, deuces, and then keep on trucking. So thank you for checking this out. I think that was really all I wanted to share on this day of my experience and how I'm landing it, and then how I'm seeing it in others and how they're healing through it. So I thought I would share it. So maybe it will be of service to anyone that's watching. So I hope that you enjoy this day, and you are free to share this with anyone that you think it would resonate with. Everything that I say on here is through my lens, my translation. So whatever I say, it is just to be heard, and if anything lands, then that's awesome, and if it doesn't land, then that's totally fine too. I love everyone that is taking the time for themselves, and I appreciate everybody for checking this out. So I hope that you have a great rest of this now, and I'll see you next time I hop on here. Bye.